Hello, I'm going to assume that we're live. And yeah, hello, we're here to talk about Doctor Who, which I'm actually pleasantly surprised we can do. I was fearful, if honest. I was fearful that, Brexit would happen and immediately we would return to a state of assless chaps and raiders as far as the eye can see, and Doctor Who just wouldn't get any funding, and season 12, is it? Season 12 wouldn't get any funding and it wouldn't be made, and we'd never be able to talk about New Who again. But that appears to have not been the case because there was a picture came out. I want to say like a week ago now. It might have been longer than that. I have lost all track of space and time, funnily enough. But yeah, they released a picture of the 13th Doctor. I have to think about it now. I have to think like where we're at. Like I want to say Capaldi messed things up for me. Not necessarily actively messed things up, but I stopped keeping track around Capaldi-ish time, Matt Smith Capaldi time. So they released a picture of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor standing next to a judoon. And I was overall, I would say that image that they put out was a very positive one for me. I took a lot of positive things from it, although for YouTube money, I now will be quite negative about it for 10 minutes. No, they went there. They put out a picture that was the Doctor and a classic monster. I think it's safe to call Judoon at this point a classic monster because they are 12 years old. Is it 2007 ish? They're not a classic series monster. They're a New Who monster, but they're an old New Who monster. One of the things that season 11, again, I'm going to have to just take this. If I'm saying it wrong, replace when I say it wrong, replace what I'm saying with the right numbers. Last season, they didn't do any returning monsters apart from the New Year's Day special, which did Daleks, and that kind of sort of doesn't count. They tried a thing where for the season they just did new monsters and new threats and new kind of episode. I was going to say structures, but that's not true. New episode kind of menaces, problems to overcome. Not necessarily monsters all the time, but they were going for the new. They were going for the new factor. They were trying to put the new into New Who, and I think it was very very brave to do that. I think as much as I call Chibnall an absolute coward, I think it was you know in 2018 to do like a long running legacy show like Doctor Who's been around since 1963, and it's got all this kind of lore that you could easily mine and get cheap wins out of just doing like another Dalek episode, another Cyberman episode, or doing like a lesser monster but like connecting them to some form of other piece of lore. There's easy things, easy wins they could have had there, but they were like, no, we're gonna do completely new things, and I don't necessarily think it worked, to be honest. I thought it was quite refreshing. I enjoyed each week being like a new thing, maybe with the potential, because I'm the worst kind of nerd. Like I have just bashed it there, but I would like to see, you know, I would like them to lie to me and be like, "Oh, we're just doing new things," and then like them be like, "Oh no, it was the Rani. It was the Rani all along." I mean, last season. I mean, every season is the season to drop the Rani bomb. I mean, they should just do it. They should just make someone, anyone, the Rani, like that. That meme from like 2008 or even earlier, that every season it was going to be the Rani was going to be the big bad, or the reveal that week was going to be the Rani, because no one cares about the Rani. No one did care about the Rani until that meme. I'm telling you, probably no one remembers this meme apart from me and my immediate friend group. But just do the Rani at some point. Like this is the time. Why am I talking about the Rani? Oh, they were just doing new stuff. I don't think it necessarily worked. Not because I think the idea was flawed. I think the kind of execution, because I don't think the stuff they came up with, the kind of the new stuff, I don't think was all that great or all that memorable necessarily. A lot of it was kind of generic, and a lot of it was like none of the kind of creatures that came up, apart from maybe a couple, were anything really to talk about other than service and the plot of the week. They were more kind of set dressing than a kind of memorable monster that you would want to see again. And they were trying that with Tim Shaw, and I think Tim Shaw's pretty terrible. Like, I enjoyed his kind of suit look before he took off the mask and revealed his teeth face. Don't get me wrong, the teeth faced face is a very New Who, very Doctor Who thing. I just think it's just not necessarily my type of dumb. And then Tim Shaw in the finale where they brought him back, and it was like, oh, he's back, and that means something because he's returning for the series. I think that episode was pretty bad, and or at least just very low key and not much to talk about, and it wasn't helped that the villain was quite weak. So the judoon pick, I think, says a lot. It says, because it's the image that they released. This is what they're putting forward, and they're saying it's like, look, we are doing. I know I'm saying classic monsters here, but we're doing classic monsters. We have the ability, you know, to do things that people have liked in the past and potentially would like to see again. I like the judoon. I like the judoon quite a lot. I like Smith and Jones. Smith and Jones is a very solid first season opener. Maybe I'm biased because it was 2007. I'm very nostalgic for 2007. That blue suit, come on, and the wee shop patter. Like, I'm always talking about wee shops in hotels and hospitals because of that episode, because of Big Tenant. I was going to say Smith there, but Big Tenant. And I don't know if they've changed the June suit in any way. It kind of looks. I've done zero research and I've been meaning to do this for like a week. It's not like it's hot off the presses and I haven't actually looked. Did the June suit have those little lights that it has on its neck in this picture? Because what we learned from that season there was that Chippers likes to put technology. Check, I was going to say technological. Likes to put technologic things into people's necks. It's a weird thing, but he did it multiple times in that last season. And it looks like potentially I could check. I could instantly check, but I'm not going to. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's redesigned the Jejun, slightly, giving them a kind of repaint to have neck tech, because he's obsessed with neck tech, or just putting tech into people. I can't tell, but also, does it look like the Jejun mask has been kind of inked? It looks wrinklier. I I think it's cool, and they've given him a Jeremy Renner. They've given him a Jeremy Renner mohawk, which I think is pretty spectacular. If there was anything to take away from Endgame, it was Jeremy Renner's hairstyle. Goodness me! But yeah, I'm hopeful. Like, I like the Jujin. I like that they're back. I like that the show, isn't necessarily tying one hand behind its back by saying we're not going to do classic things. I think that decision at the time and for the series was a good decision. I just don't think they executed on it well. So I think they need this season. I wouldn't be surprised if this season was all just returning monsters. Like every episode was like a Judoon episode, even like a Slitheen episode, or like a Sea Devils or Silurian episode. Jodie Whittaker needs to have a Cybermen episode. Like, let's not have a doctor that doesn't get to meet the Cybermen. Let's not be Pertwee again. Um, she needs a Cyberman episode because it's Doctor Who, and I don't know what else would I like to see back. Do a Master episode, do a Rani episode as I talked about earlier. Just yeah, it's not hard. Just do the classic Doctor Who episodes, but maybe do new things with them, like the classic Doctor Who monsters, but have something new to say about them. And I think they can do that with the Judoon, because the Judoon, I their one thing is that they're space cops, and like I don't think Doctor Who has had space cops before the Judoon. If I'm getting very high pitched, but I'm trying to think. I don't can't think of any. So they could do commentary on policing with the judoon in like a kind of funny way because haha, they are big-headed rhino men. You could do, and I've been saying this for ages, but you can just do a Yaz story, right? Do a Yaz story involving the Judoon because she's a cop. The Judoon are cops, and you could do some like Judge Dredd kind of fascist parody stuff with the Judoon and have it contrast against Yaz's modern day policing. That kind of story, I want to say, writes itself. So I won't be shocked when there's no more Yaz stories because there hasn't been a Yaz story yet. Even Yaz's episode, the Demons of the Punjab, wasn't really Yaz based. It was Yaz's Gran based. Like, just take this opportunity with your cop aliens to do like some sort of cop story, even if it's not even like I'm not asking necessarily for like commentary on modern policing. That seems like an easy avenue for Whitaker's Doctor Who to go. Like that seems like something that Doctor Who would probably want to comment on in this day and age. But if you don't want to do that, just do like a space detective thing, like Mass Effect, with the kind of the Presidium missions like the Judoon, the Doctor, hopefully Yaz, on some sort of space station or planet or something future with the Judoon doing standard, cop shenanigans. An episode of The Bill, but with Judoon in space. Easy. Um, yeah, like I think I'm happy. I think I'm very happy with this image that they put out. I'm mostly just happy that, like I said at the top of the show, that Doctor Who is continuing, and I would like to see it continue. And I I don't even mind if it's just like the Judoon are just there in an episode. Stuff I've seen around this picture, people have talked about the Judoon episode. So if it's like a full Judoon episode, that'd be amazing. They didn't really. They kind of like I was talking about, they serve a purpose in Smith and Jones. They're not. It's not necessarily about them. I guess the Smith and Jones is the most about Jejune episode that we've got. I've got a book sitting waiting to read that's apparently about Jejune that I'm very excited about. 10th Doctor novel, but the other times that we've seen them, they're kind of just grunts. They were like um, the Dalek Alliance for the Pandorica, I want to say, because probably they just had the suits flying about. And that always bugged me because, like, they were antagonistic in Smith and Jones, but that's because they're dumb. But they were chasing down a space criminal. Why would they? Why would the Jejune and the Space Cops team up with the Daleks? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I can logic it and say like, oh, those were like dirty cops, dirty Jejune cops, but it seems like a very very low down the ladder that the Daleks would be recruiting them, to be honest, other than having dirty cops and big Jejune like cop organizations. I'm getting far off talking about the picture. Yeah, I hope it's a good episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.